Welcome to the Emerging Professional Series at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum, TEIF, and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Beyond the Boardroom, Leadership, Energy, and Influence with Dr. Ankoor Dasguupta. In today's episode, we sit down with a man who doesn't just lead, he energizes. Ankur is CXO at Garage Collective. He also wears the hat of a leadership and business communication coach, PCC. He's a TEDx speaker and a global thought leader. He has spent over 2 decades transforming how brands, people, and leaders show up in the world. With a rich journey across marketing, leadership coaching, and purpose driven communication, his story is as inspiring as it is impactful. From boardroom to global stages, from mentoring future leaders to winning prestigious awards, Ankur embodies the spirit of Kaizen, continuous growth and excellence. And we also come to know Ankur as a person. So welcome Ankur to today's Coffee Cons episode.
Hey, Lan, thank you so much. You're amazing. What you're doing is amazing, inspiring. I'm just too grateful to be on your show. A lot of things to share. I'm hoping for a super wonderful conversation.
Yeah, so let me explain you. There'll be 3 rounds: professional journey, personal journey, and a surprise rapid fire round like you're on the hot seat with Coffee with Karan.
All
And
right.
here's an inspiration. You're getting 2 books: AI in Workforce and Niche Marketing.
Wonderful.
So that we have to be written fun and quick, and then it will be autographed and sent to you.
Fantastic.
Sure.
Super.
Let's begin the first round. Friend of mine, Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. So my first question, Ankur, how has the journey shaped up and what were the key defining moments you had?
Great question, Lan. Things I thought that were failures actually turned to be success metrics, turned into successes later on. And I'm a believer in divine intervention, although I did not know much about this field earlier. But I always believe that there is a supreme force controlling a bunch of things around us. So let me start by saying I've been a very average student. I'm not an MBA. No great guns I've done in my studies and all. Partied a lot in my life. But yeah, I always knew that there is a purpose for which I'm here in this planet. And this I knew from my childhood. Somehow this thought was always there that I'm here, I need to do something which is meaningful. I was not clear as to what it means to me. Gradually, as my journey started, and I realized that not every time I will hit the bullseye, not every time I'll be absolutely successful in what I do, maybe, right? But I always knew that I wanted to get into the media space. I'm being a musician myself, I play the tabla. There was a major part of my life during school and high school and college times that I was primarily into the musician circle. And thankfully, I got a lot of opportunities to watch a lot of theaters, performing arts, a lot of classical shows in being in Delhi. And those things gradually, you know, let me think that, allowed me to, show me a path that how can I progress in my life considering I have these core strengths within myself. So my journey has been very interesting. It's been 25 years. I don't know where to start, but yes, I've worked with companies like Times of India, India Today, Yahoo. I've launched multiple international IPs of events in India like AdTech New Delhi, iMedia Brand Summits. Got an opportunity to work with top-notch companies globally, traveled across the world, worked with various teams and cultures. And there is one thing I've realized that when we travel and when we meet different people, there is always different cultures that we get to know. People everywhere is more or less the same, but uh, how we interact with those people and how we can take the best out of those people really matters. So yes, in a nutshell, that journey has been really interesting and still going on. I'm grateful for every moment and every day that I'm living. And yes, being into advertising and marketing, that's my core. But yes, now I'm also a PCC coach and ICF accredited. And I coach senior executives about how to become better version of themselves. So yeah, a lot to include in my journey, but there has been one thing I'm very grateful for in a nutshell, there have been more failures than successes. And I think that's the beauty of it. Because each failure has led me to a better and deeper understanding of myself, leading to a success at the end of the day.
Wow, beautiful. So let's build the conversation. Ankur, you often talk about energy and energize. How do you bring this philosophy into leadership and business strategy?
See, a great question, Lion. For me, energy is not a buzzword. Thankfully, when I started working with GE Capital International Services, now Genpact,
Hmm.
I got a lot of sessions and trainings in leadership and young leaders development program. I, did my Six Sigma green belt, and there were two values embedded everywhere within GE, and I'm grateful for that as well. That energy and energize were one of those, listed values. And it took me a while to understand the essence, the depth of those words. But it is a silent, to me, it is a silent architecture of leadership. I bring this philosophy into strategy in the same way, say, a conductor would bring it into an orchestra, the conductor of an orchestra, right? By tuning the environment before demanding performance. So, because when the energy is right, alignment, according to me, what my observation is, becomes effortless. The alignment, what we talk about, strategy, alignment, these buzzwords and big words, it is actually becomes very easy. So it is also about what one does differently than the others. For instance, one of the examples I share is, if we are all brushing our teeth, then how differently we are brushing our teeth, right? So one of the exercises I do, I usually don't share this, but I'll share it on your show. There are certain things, has to be unique. So I brush my teeth with my left hand. Uh, there is a reason why I do it. There is a reason, because I also believe in this science that there is a part of the brain that is already activated, and there's a part of the brain that needs activation. So when I do something differently, it makes things easier. So I remind teams that strategy is not about a document; it is a frequency. And if the frequency is low, even the best ideas struggle. So, but when the frequency goes high, and the curiosity rises along with it, so the collaboration feels lighter, and the execution kind of accelerates. So it is like from, if I need to give a metaphor, switching from a dim light to a floodlight, and suddenly you see opportunities that were always there, but you were hovering over it, and it was never illuminated. So, in a nutshell, in business, I treat energy like both diagnostic and as a catalyst. So, say if a team's energy is scattered, we can all see it, right? We keep on asking each other, right? Today if I say, if you say, Ankur, your energy is seeming low today, there is something you may have observed, right? I don't know what may be that. So when we keep on talking in the leadership team also, आज आपका energy थोड़ा low लग रहा है, is there something? So we don't start with KPIs. We start with coherence, understanding how we can understand that. And if I come to the business side of it, if a brand's energy is dull, like for example, इसका logo चमक नहीं रहा है, या इसका strategy में दम नहीं है, इसका marketing में दम नहीं है. What is that? How do we define that? So we don't chase trends. We kind of reignite its narrative, I would say.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. So my next question, how do you balance being a strategic business leader and a hands-on mentor for young professionals?
For young professionals, see, I'm a believer in the young generation. I've always been, because I have also passed through this stage. So as a professional mentor, I don't primarily bifurcate the two a lot. Whenever I'm having a conversation with somebody, or whenever I'm doing a lecture at a business school, which I keep doing quite often, I try and understand number one, the energy in the room, which I map by, and it's my duty to increase the energy in the room whenever I'm having a conversation. At least I feel that whenever I'm having a conversation with somebody, it's my duty, responsibility to increase that energy level. The second thing is, there is a vast difference between coaching and mentoring. So people say it in the same breath, right? Please coach and mentor me. So I always, no, no, do you want me to mentor you? Do you want me to coach you? So what's the difference? then I have to explain them. Right. So training, counseling, mentoring, coaching, these are all consulting, these are all different ballgames. Like
Yes.
coaching would boil down to doing a root cause analysis by asking powerful questions, and 80% of the times you listen, and 20% of the times you talk, even less. So, and coaching is acts. My metaphor to that as this is something I use in when I say for young generation as well. Coaching is like homeopathic medicine. It will treat you from the root, right? But you have to be patient with it. You have to be ready to look in within yourself and endure that time. And mentoring is like antibiotic. You take a dolo, you're okay, and but I can't guarantee you that you won't get fever again, right? So that's the thing. So with the young generation, I always try and understand their aspirations because our pedigree is different, obviously, right? The kind of environment we had during our times. So it is very important to understand today's generation's perspectives as well and respect them and not say, hey, I did this 15 years back, 20 years back, 30 years back, so you also do like this. This is going to work for you. So that's it. We have to respect also each other's thoughts and opinions, not try to change them. Maybe try and see if they are ready to mold within themselves.
Wow. So let's go maybe on the lane. Uh, from the leadership coaching, what was the transformation you could see during your leadership coaching sessions?
Transformation within myself or
No, coaching sessions, leadership
within
coaching.
in great in my coaching sessions when I usually coach leaders. I'll give some examples because I can't share
Yes.
specific details, but I'll share some
Yeah,
examples.
yeah.
Some of so senior leaders, what do they face? Now they face challenges like so. I'm coaching a very senior leader who's out of country. Um, One of his problems during the chemistry call was that I feel that my team is not trusting me. So there is number one thing that is on his mind probably, which is trust. Okay. Now, number two is I feel that I am not able to project myself in the way I need to in the boardroom. Right. So now, why this is being felt? There could be reasons where where this cropped up from. So one of my techniques is number one, diving into early childhood areas, where understanding that how's the first 7 years of your life, your experiences during the first 7 years, because it has got a lot to do, a lot, heavy chunk to do with how was your first 7 years of your life.
Yes.
So then I try and map it to doing a root cause analysis. And I always say that, look, I am not a life coach. I am not a any other coach who would change something for you in a blink of a button. I would help you become a better version of yourself by only enabling you to get the answers that you always had within yourself, but you just did not look into that before. So, some of the my coaches ask me that, Ankur, how do I get to know that these sessions are over? I'm done. Like I'm good. I'm on my own now. So I say, you will tell me, and I promise you, you will tell me. So there's a number of sessions that we do and all, but by now I usually understand that this kind of a problem would need these many sessions. So I tell them that you will tell me, and it has always happened that I have never had to tell them, and they always tell me, Ankur, I feel this is it, and I'll probably need one more session, and I'm on my own. Um, so that's the beauty of it, and it's difficult also because um, in the corporate life line, what happens, we always tend to mentor. ऐसे ऐसे कर दो, ये कर दो, ऐसे हो जाएगा, because it's a shortcut, right? तुम ऐसे कर दो इस चीज को,
Yes.
do it, just do this, I'm telling you, just do this. But वैसे
Yes.
coaching does not work like that. It is a process. So I will never tell you what to do. You will automatically tell me, yes, I know this has to be done, I know the answer to this. So that's the beauty of it. That's why I enjoy it so much.
Wow, beautiful. So my next one, as someone associated with Harvard Square Leaders Excellence and other global platforms, how do you see India's leadership narrative evolving globally?
See, India has got excellent leaders. Many of the leaders are global leaders are from India itself. The only one of the challenges that I see is um, gelling out. If I put it in a very raw way, gelling out within the C-suite itself. It is not about one leader. It's about if you're the CEO of a company, do you gel out with the CFO, the CTO, the CDO, and do you really hang out party together? Do you talk to each other, know each other enough, know each other's families, know what each other is going through? Because I mean, my observation is this is not only a country specific problem or a thing needs to be improved upon. This is globally. If the C-suite gels out properly, everything percolates very neatly down to the teams, and because they are seeing it, right? Many of the times, if you see a CFO is considered to be a very different in the ballgame. Oh, this is with the CFO. This is with the CFO. So it's a big thing. This is with the CFO, and the CFO won't understand anything apart from a particular theme, right? This is the general perception. But did anybody try and have a chat that, hey, come, let's go out with the coffee? Just the CEO and the CFO and the CTO, Chief Technology Officer. We are having parties with our teams. Are we doing our own parties together over a cup of coffee over here? Right. Where we get to know each other. Like तुम्हारा problem, because everybody has got a different mindset. Look, and CA, chartered accountant, उसका life journey, हर एक का individual life journey different रहा होगा. Everybody is a different set of protoplasmic content. Sabka mitochondria, everything, all the DNA structure, Okazaki fragments, everything is different. So it is natural for somebody to think differently. It is a good sign. But how do we work along together? So that is one thing I feel Indian leadership as well within India is a mindset, my observation, and this is my personal observation. This needs to be improved upon. What we talk about humility, building a culture, posting on social media. Hey, there was a yoga day, so we posted something on the social media channel, right? I would say stop being fake. If you really believe in yoga, have something organized every month at your office. If you really believe in Women's Day, imbibe that in your culture, in your DNA to respect women day in and day out. If you believe in any day like Environment Day, oh, we did something, we planted some plants and we posted on social media. So where does this come from? This comes from leadership, right? So let's do an activity because today is World Environment Day. Why are you talking about environment almost every month as a process or system? So just to cut short, yes, this is a thing I feel from within my heart. It needs to be felt. The leadership needs to feel that what they are doing for, it's not there only on social media, but within themselves first, as a leader's mindset.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. So, Ankur, what's your perspective on the future of leadership communication in an AI-powered digital-first world?
Oh, this is a very interesting question, but I have a very short answer for it. See, AI, एक होता है ends to means and one is means to an ends. Now, if we use AI for solving our end objective, right? There are two sides, the same sides of the coin. Then, according to me, we are not going in the right direction. This has to be solved. Use AI and solve it. I am still a believer that who is creating AI? We are the ones creating the algorithms and the AIs and data science, and part of algorithms and science. Now, if we are using AI to help us do a task better and faster, fair enough. Absolutely okay. We all use AI. In our industry, also we use AI. Number three is understanding of AI. Can I enhance something with AI, the power of it, the storytelling power of it? So let me give you an example. In our industry, now there are very few good copywriters left, content writers left in our industry, because everybody is now directly going into AI and getting the content. So the other side of it is when calculators came, then people thought that, अब तो calculator आ गया, mathematicians का क्या अब ट्यूशन देने की जरूरत नहीं मेरे बच्चे को, now you can use a calculator for maths. But that is not the point. That is a very lame thing to say. When computers came, gadgets will keep coming. They will keep evolving. I had my first phone, Nokia 3310 in year, I think, 2000. Right. I was very happy. It was not a smartphone, of course. But now, to stay relevant, I had to evolve. This is also a part of, the technology side, part of it for us. We had to stay relevant. So we all graduated to so-called smartphones. पहले था ब्लैकबेरी में कीपैड QWERTY कीपैड. अभी ओहो स्मार्टफोन में क्या स्क्रीन होता है, कोई कीपैड ऐसे होता नहीं है. So there is a fear. My take is overcoming that fear is important. Treating AI not as a very big thing. AI is going to, and coming to terms with the fact that AI is going to change lives. Fine. Now we have to recognize that piece. Second thing is, coming back to my point, not trying to use AI for the end objective. Trying to use AI to solve a problem better, to get inspiration. That is where, to give a simple anecdote, if I have my mobile 24 hours with me, it is up to me how many hours I spend on my mobile phone, how many notifications I have got on, right? How much time. So if I'm spending 6 7 hours on the mobile phone itself on a screen, that means I have no control over myself. So if I'm letting AI overtake me, overtake my mind, oh now AI is controlling me, oh God, now AI is this, AI is that. Now that is a bad zone to be in, according to me. We say, oh, AI is my friend. I'm going to take your help for this, but just I'm going to take your help for this. You're going to catalyst in my work. So that solves it.
Wow, beautiful. So my next one is also interesting. You're known for your emphasis. Sorry, you are known for your emphasis on humanizing marketing. What does that look like in real world business scenarios?
That's a very difficult one to speak about in a in a short while, but I will make an attempt. See, earlier there we used to had Hamara Bajaj jingle, then washing powder Nirma, right? Then जब मैं छोटा बच्चा था बड़ी शरारत करता था मेरी चोरी पकड़ी जाती, all these jingles, right? Or I love you Rasna, right? There were back to back jingles created on those, late 80s and 90s. Now what is happening now, also we are doing brilliant work. There are some really brilliant campaigns, because I'm in this industry, I can say, I can vouch that there's some really brilliant campaigns that are coming out globally. But now the human part of it, at times I feel, at times, that maybe, when I look at a campaign, when I look at a brand, I think to myself that this could have been done in a different way, not a better way, in a different way. Probably because I'm a little bit archaic in my thinking, maybe. But humanizing the brand is nothing but having that brand love, feeling for the brand, feeling what that logo stands for. Today, if Lion, you have a logo. Now, your logo is something people should be like feeling the logo, not saying, oh, this is just a logo, this is Lion's logo. That's what I feel about marketing and branding. Many people may not know that the Starbucks logo has a deep science behind it, the mermaid. Many people don't even know that's a mermaid, right? So every logo has a story, has a history. How was it made? कुछ तो सोचा होगा ना, लोगो ऐसे बना तो नहीं दिया होगा. All the biggies, all the big brands, even Audi 4 Circles has a story behind it. So
Yes.
when we look deep into it, it's a science and an art both, and it's everything to do with feeling.
Wow, beautifully put. So you are a CXO at Garage Collective. What does Chief Experience Officer means, and what does this work entail for viewers out there? Can you please explain?
Yeah, when I was having a chat with Saurabh, so we were like, kya rakhe? Because I've been a CMO earlier, and but rather than a fancy designation, it's more to do with I'll be involved in everything. You know, also more to do with creating experiences internally, creating experiences within our clients' ecosystem as well. So when I meet somebody, I always say that I'm not a sales guy. I don't know good bad. I can't just go and sell something, but I have a different style to it. I have a different pursuit to it. I have a different. I love having conversations, and if I believe in no agenda meetings. You would see in my LinkedIn post, I post a lot about no agenda meetings. I love to understand the person behind that role first, and then dive into that conversation. So if it needs me to wait for a particular period of time before I get that meeting, I wait. But by now, over a period of times, I've practiced, reaching a particular frequency where the person is, and kind of gelling out and kind of meaning to approach just because I want to know you better. And if a business agenda needs to flow out of it, it flows. That's the style I follow. So creating experiences externally, creating experiences for our brand itself, Garage Collective, and our core IPs. Like we have Garage Music also, we have e-learning also, multiple IPs, we have Garage Productions as well. And creating experiences for our community and the teams that work in. They should feel, even if they are putting in, say, 1 hour extra on a particular day, they should feel wow about it. Wow. And not that, oh, this is too much of pressure. So, how to create that? And if they're having 1 hour to themselves, where they have probably lesser work on a particular day, how they're utilizing that time for getting themselves better. A lot of nuances I work on creating experience. So that's the reason why Chief Experience Officer.
Wow. So let's go again, memory down the lane. What's the most memorable marketing campaign you have worked on, and what impact did it create?
See, a very difficult one because there's so many of them, and so many of them beyond what I worked on and beyond what my inspiration is. I feel that Pidilite has done a fantastic job. Mondelez has done a fantastic job. These are not my work, but I'm sharing my experiences. What Nike does, of course, in the way they say it. I'm talking about certain global and both Indian brands as well. I see some BFSI clients also. What Aditya Birla does. Um, what we also do for brands at Garage Collective, like we still work for multiple accounts like um, Toshiba air conditioners, Sham Metallics, Caprese handbags, a bunch of them, a bunch of accounts. I mean, the list is endless. We have worked with LG, Oppo, a bunch of brands to name with. But I don't want to sound like I'm pitching out here. But I feel that every brand has got a particular thought to its how it wants to project its campaign. I'm not a soft drinks or beverage fan. I don't have Coke or Pepsi, anything. No, no beverages like that. I've stopped quite some time back. But I love the way Coke and Pepsi position themselves in the market. The way they do campaigns globally. I love their global campaigns more than Indian campaigns because perhaps the Indian audience is slightly different and they do very massy campaigns with just pulling in a celebrity and doing that jazz and all. But I really like what they do, some global initiatives on both ATL and BTL front.
Wow, beautiful. So, as someone who has judged global platforms like Smarties and Stevie Awards, what impactful work did you see from the participant side?
Amazing work. I think amazing is an understatement word for this. See, globally, when I see work from Asia Pacific region, um, Thailand, Vietnam, all those areas, and then Europe, and then US. The beauty of being a jury on these platforms is you get to see extensive work and how people are thinking globally. So there is not even one campaign. When I, judge entries, and I'm recently doing another round of Stevies, which is just going to start next week. I get overwhelmed because each and every entry is so well detailed out with respect to creativity, why they are doing this campaign, the purpose behind it, and the numbers, supporting numbers. It is mind blowing how they bring it to life, and it's a lot of hard work. I recognize that. So I think this whole industry is very interesting. I can't probably name one or two. It will not do justice to this, but yes, I love what I do.
Wow. Okay. How did you being a TEDx speaker come about, and how has experience been?
So TEDx happened quite organically, and then I waited for it. And when it happened, I exactly knew what to talk about. So I built a presentation, and I told them that this is the topic, the turning point, and I talked about my failures. The only thing I knew that I it's good to have butterflies in the belly. Well, I still have that at times. But during TEDx, I surprisingly did not have any butterflies. I was like, as if I've already done this multiple times. That I don't know where did that come from. The feeling that I have when I was in the car and came out and went to the auditorium, I was like, I've done this. So I got up on stage and I was like, what if the thought came to my mind the last night, earlier night previous to that, what if I fumble? And then a voice inside, told me that you cannot fumble. You don't fumble. So somehow it was so smooth. It was about close to 18 minutes, and I loved every moment of it. So probably because number one, I was comfortable, and I'm still comfortable with talking about my failures. Because there's so many failures, starting from flunking in, which I spoke in TEDx also, flunking in class 12 on one subject once, and then in the compartment as well. And then thankfully that year CBSE launched the second compartment, so I kind of passed out. So starting from there, right? A lot of failures where I did mistakes in in my early days of career, leading to revenue loss. Um, a bunch of things, a bunch of failures that I learned from in my life, where I had no clarity as to how this has to be done. But there's this one thing, Brian, that I always feel I did right. That whenever I saw an opportunity that I was in a bunch of people, room full of people, and anybody asked the question, okay, so who's going to do this? I used to always raise my hand, regardless of the fact who other is raising their hand or not, even if I was the only one raising my hand. So I always raised my hand where no one else did. And not that I had clarity. Sometimes I did not have clarity also. How will I able to be doing that? But I did it.
Wow, beautiful. So your journey spans 24 plus years across media, leadership, and communication. If you had to define your career ethos in one sentence, what would it be?
Career ethos. I think I'm completely grateful as to how this journey has panned out. I mean, I get very emotional when somebody asks me this question. It's a difficult one. I would rather say, Lion, I'm very grateful that God gave me those opportunities to fail,
Wonderful.
to learn. Because when God gives you opportunities,
Yes.
or the external force, he or she does not see that you will fail or pass. It's just an
Yes.
opportunity. It's a mindset. Will you take it up or not? It's entirely. So
Yes.
thankfully, I got those opportunities to work with large-size companies, mid-sized companies, startups. Got those opportunities to interact with global leaders at early stage in my life. That helped. Very grateful.
Wow. Beautiful. So having worked across diverse industries, what's that leadership lesson that has stood the test of time for you?
I've always asked questions. The test of time was at a point of time, there was a zone where I moved from not asking questions to asking questions. There was a time when I was like, ये बोल दिया किसी ने या बॉस ने बोल दिया तो अब कर देते हैं बट आई ऑलवेज हैड दैट फिर क्यों कैसे करना है इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है इसका गोल क्या व्हाट इज दैट गोल व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू अचीव आउट ऑफ दिस the day I started asking this question, this transition happened after probably 6 or 7 years of my initial career journey. I started asking. It changed the game when I started asking. So I always tell people that if you have curiosity, as a child, I have curiosity, right? My daughter, she just turned 7. She asked me weird questions. And those are actually not weird when I look at it. When me and my wife discuss, question to actually weird nahi hai. Question to question hai. Now, we are finding it difficult to answer because we don't face that question often.
Yes,
Why
correct.
does this
Correct.
not? ऐसे क्यों करना है? ऐसे क्यों होता है? So I always tell people, ask questions. Number 2 is don't overthink. तो
Yep.
ये हो गया, अभी बॉयफ्रेंड गर्लफ्रेंड का ब्रेकअप हो गया तो मैं अभी 6 महीने तक उसी जोन में रहूंगा, मेरा ब्रेकअप हो गया, ब्रेकअप हो गया, ब्रेकअप हो गया, अभी ये जॉब से दूसरे जॉब में चेंज करना था, मैं उसके बारे में सोच रहा हूँ। अरे भैया, एग्जिस्टिंग प्रेजेंट जॉब में तो सोचो, ठीक है तुमको चेंज करना है, बट तुम जो वो 1 महीना नोटिस पीरियड में भी दोगे, वो दिलो जान से तो दो।
Yes.
Being in the present moment is the second piece of nugget that I have.
Wow. Beautiful. So you should watch the panel discussion on Father's Day. I'll share the link where ये coffee speakers, panelists have shared about Nitin Bhuvanyake's child comes and asks questions and he revalidates his question ka answer again from his father. So same thing you must be experiencing, you and your wife. So
Wonderful.
okay. So my last question for your professional journey round. If tomorrow's professional want to lead with impact, what are the three non-negotiables they should start building today?
We are talking about. Can you just repeat the question once?
I'll just repeat. If tomorrow's professionals want to lead with impact, what are the three non-negotiables they should start building today?
Okay, first non-negotiable, great question, is if you want to become a leader, it's a mindset, number one. If you think you're a leader today, you're a leader today. No, not maybe in your designation, but if you have a leadership mindset, then if you're a manager, you start thinking like a senior manager. If you're a vice president, start thinking like a senior vice president, executive vice president. Like now you have to do your own research and homework. What does a senior executive vice president do? The role from a regular C-suite to a CEO is the biggest transition one can see. A huge gap. Say from a CMO or a chief digital officer or a chief technology officer to a CEO is the biggest transition. Some leaders, I'm sure, may be aware of this. To our budding
Hmm.
leaders, I would say if you're sitting on the top of a branch, you should have the ability to see ahead.
Yes.
दूरबीन लेके भी हो देखना पड़ेगा बायनोकुलर लेके कि हाँ वो आगे ये हो रहा है तो मेरा काम है इसको इस तरह मैनेज करना नीचे नहीं पता हो
Okay.
मैं बता दूंगा लाइक कौटिल्य चाणक्य यूज्ड टू गाइड सम्राट अशोका he had that vision. So having that vision is not a one day's job.
Yes.
Either you have it from childhood, you're very grateful. If you don't have it, then you have to gradually cultivate. Cultivation कैसे होता है? Observing people.
Yes.
Observing people. So I used to travel by the metro only for one reason. One was the primary reason. Observing people, listening to their conversations. What do they talk? How do they dress? What do they talk about? What do they like? Observing. Keen observer of human nature. वो होना
Yes.
पड़ेगा अगर आप leader होना चाहते हो. Number two is um, respect. Respect for each other's opinions and recognize the fact that किसी और का opinion आपसे different हो सकता है. It can be different. So respecting that. And number three, जो सबसे मुश्किल है, is if a if a bunch of people are not able to work together, your job is to enable that team to work together. That's a combination of art and science. Very difficult thing. मेरे उसके साथ नहीं बन रहा मेरा इसके साथ ये डिफिकल्ट टू हाउ टू Anna Hakim का एक बुक है हाउ टू वर्क विद डिफिकल्ट पीपल आई हैव रेड दैट मोर देन ट्वाइस she has very well explained it in that case study wise that how this can be tackled. So one of the traits a leader needs to have is in joining bringing people together, acting as the bridge, not ki diverting people कि वो शोले में डालोगे ना आधे इधर जाओ आधे उधर जाओ बाकी मेरे साथ आओ आधे आधे चले गए तो बाकी बाकी का क्या करोगे everybody that does not mean that you have to keep everybody happy but you have to join people be in the pursuit of joining people. So these are the three nuggets.
Beautiful. Let's go to the next round and understand Ankur as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Family, I think this is the most beautiful thing that happened to my life is getting a wife and a life partner like Arpita, having a daughter like Kiana, extremely supportive life partner, extremely naughty and yet beautiful daughter, Kiana. I think without the support of a life partner, it becomes maybe challenging. And things changed after I tied the knot with Arpita. She enabled me, and she never coached me. But now when I look back, I see that every day in these several years, we are going to wrap up almost 17 years now. She has helped me to become a better version of myself without even trying to making it. Oh, Ankur, I'm going to do a coaching session with you like I do. Oh, now we are going to do this coach-coachee relationship. But I
Mhm.
certain things I learn from her, which I tell her. Certain things I've missed to tell her also.
Yes.
But she takes care of me. She understands me. Things changed after we had Kiana as well because the kind of what we were talking about, the kind of questions she asks, and the kind of smiles. Well, so Arpita and I can't fight in the house because when we start a fight, she will come in between and say, "Why are you screaming at mom? Or mom? Why are you screaming at dad?" I say, "We are not even screaming. We are just talking." Which she gets the tonality, and then the
Mm.
next moment. So now she's 7 years, so she's like, "Can you both hug each other?" And we can't even fight. So a lot of things change with those dynamics. So she's
Beautiful.
brought us closer also, and be it life, career, professional, personal. I learn negotiation skills from Arpita, right? How to
Yes,
negotiate with people. She does
I
that
can see
far,
that.
far better than me.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so what's that hobby or activity that completely disconnects you from work mode?
So I'm not into too much. I was never into too much television actually. When I'm talking about television, because उस time पे television बहुत था. So I used to always have two or three things that I used to watch on television, two or three programs. Even during my childhood, I still remember those. तब हम लोग आता था, बुनियाद आता था, जुनून आता था, स्वाभिमान आता था. I love talking about शांति आता था. उस टाइप के कुछ कुछ होते थे जो देख लेता था पूरे हफ्ते में. देख बाय देख आता था. Now I'm not into OTTs much, but due to the nature of the industry, I try and keep pace with market में क्या OTT क्या नया show आ रहा है जिसके साथ collaborate कर सकते हैं हम, stuff like that. Be it Garage are also, by the way, in the process of bringing out a show ourselves, producing
Wow,
that. So my
beautiful.
pastime is I listen to a lot of music when I'm disconnected. All genres, primarily electronic dance music at 120 beats per minute. Ideally, 120 beats per minute, 120 to 130 BPM is very. I'm happy listening to that. When I really need much more higher energy, I go up till about 160 or 170 BPM beats per minute. Any music for that. I enjoy Baroque music, which helps me focus. You can search Baroque music. It's a different genre of music, which helps me focus better in what I do. Um, and apart from that, I'm a voracious reader and a writer. So right now, if I just turn my laptop, you'll be able to see, multiple books in my office and my home library also. And my tactic is not aiming to complete one book under pressure. I read three books at one point of time every morning and every night before going to sleep. So I will aim to complete two or three chapters from each book. I'm a fast reader, so by habit it has come to me. So that's it. I mean, writing, reading, because I have multiple columns that I need to publish, that gets published. So writing, reading, and listening to music. At times, my wife does tell me a very important thing that I miss doing. That is play your tabla, do your riyaz often. I miss doing that at times, and I'm saying this publicly because I want to admit this is something which is God gifted, and I really want to get back to my tabla riyaz.
Wow. Okay, as you said about the books, so which is a book, movie, or song that instantly uplifts your mood and why?
Movies any day. I never miss a Tom Cruise movie or a Mission Impossible series or a James Bond series. That's that's the only movie perhaps I would go to the theater to watch. Um, Apart from that, there are many. I mean, otherwise, which in bits and pieces I like. But yeah, book is the recent one is Change by Design by Tim Brown. It talks a lot of things that I was not aware of, and it helped me learn a lot of things. But it's opening a Pandora's box. Like then we can keep on talking about so many things about so many. I recently ordered a book which sort of recommended, which is this one. It's on my desk. I've not started reading it yet. Uh, so multiple. I mean, movies. Yeah, I like watching old Hindi films at times. Easy ones, Golmaal types, Amol Palekar types.
Wow. So, if you could revisit one memory from your childhood, which one would it be?
My Rajkot visit with my grandfather and grandmother. I was very close to my grandfather and grandmother. So I still remember because I was telling you, right, the first 7 years of your life, surprisingly, if you look back, you will see that there are snippets that you will remember from those parts. उसके बाद काफी चीजें याद नहीं रहती है. So this Rajkot trip happened when I was perhaps 4 years old. Yeah, maybe 4 years old or three and a half. But I still remember that clearly, like clearly. So
Mhm.
my Dadu and Dida, they took me on a, I don't know how we reached Rajkot because I live in Delhi, but I remember that I was in a bus and I had this nausea feeling, so I was puking all through the way, and my Dadu and Dida were kind of taking care of me, and we were there for my summer holidays with my cousins. Um, it was one of the most brilliant memories that I have, amazing memories that I have. I still remember there was a goat. और तब तो पुराने दिन का घर होता था, and my Phupa ji used to work with the government, so he had a commissioned house out there. So one day a goat, like Bakri, the gate was shorter in that house. I still remember. बकरी ने गेट का सिंग से गेट खोला ऐसे, वो अंदर आ गया, ठीक है. I was, and that is the one moment where I remember I was kind of always fearless. तो मैंने जाके अकेले बाहर निकल के बकरी का दो सिंग ऐसे पकड़ लिया. आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर, सिंग बड़े थे बकरी. And then my Masi came out and she started screaming, and what happened, and that became the talk of the town कि मैंने जाके सिंग पकड़ लिया उसका. Then there was a shopkeeper, Jayanti Bhai. ठीक है. I love talking about this because I've never shared this on any show anywhere. तो मेरी मौसी कहती थी जा मेरे को एक नाम से बुलाती थी, माय पेट नेम, एंड शी वाज लाइक जा जाके वो सूजी लेके आ जयंती भाई से, जा जाके वो आटा लेके आ, जा जाके मैदा लेके आ, ठीक है. सो आई यूज्ड टू गो टू जयंती भाई, एंड एवरी टाइम यूज्ड टू से वन वर्ड 90% ऑफ द टाइम्स, खलास. खलास, मैदा है, सूजी नहीं, खलास. तो मेरे को ना एक दिन ना गुस्सा आ गया, तो मैंने जयंती भाई को जाके ना थप्पड़ मार दिया. And I was this little. I just hit him on his, I don't remember where I hit him, must be on his face. But I remember I did that. And then again, it became a talk of the town in Rajkot that, what, this little.
Yes.
And Jayanti Bhai spoke about, he was very happy. Arey, isne aisa kar diya hai na. He was very happy. He was not annoyed. So that was a very memorable incident.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Next memorable moment we'll pick up. How do your friends describe you when you are not Dr. Dasgupta, the coach?
A person who cracks pathetic jokes. Not many people know about this side of me. I have a very pathetic joke side of me, who has the ability to crack jokes off the hook, which many people won't even understand. I also don't understand at times, but people start laughing. And my friends know me as a person who has a serious side, but who has the ability to have fun. And when it's a fun time, then I will go all out to have fun. But I've kind of mellowed down on that. But my, 3-4 childhood friends, actually 3, they still know me as that. We have all evolved. One works with the London Stock Exchange, one works with IKEA. They are all outside country. One is a professor. But when we meet, it's a riot. Till date, it's a riot. Because we are ourselves as we were 25 or 30 years back. We don't change ourselves at that point of time anyways. We don't even make an effort to be serious.
Wow. So if your life had a soundtrack, what would be the opening track?
I think Mission Impossible sounds, I almost listen to it almost every alternate day or even after every 2 days. There's one theme I deeply resonate with. Then there is a track by Schiller. Schiller is a German musician. It's called Ruhe, R-U-H-E. So he does music like Yanni does. So Ruhe is one track which is very calm and peaceful. One track I really extremes. One is a very high energy track like Mission Impossible, tang 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 tang, and one is Ruhe, which is on the calmer and peaceful side. You must listen to it. Schiller, R-U-H-E, Ruhe. It's a very calming and very well done track, and he's a great composer.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so what legacy would you like to leave behind?
The legacy that I want to leave behind is people remembering my name because I did something for people, for the underprivileged. This is the legacy that I want to be leaving behind. I mean, rest all our accolades and people, okay, you've done this, you've done that, you do this. But when we talk about legacy, it's like how I see it is, what will people think of the first thing that crosses their mind?
Wow.
So the first thing that will cross their mind, perhaps what I want is, this person really did for others, for the underprivileged people. And for that, I need to be making myself even more capable. So I need to work on myself first before, which I'm constantly doing.
Wow. So again, the next one is a memorable one. What message would you like to give to your daughter when she grows up and misses you?
There's only a lot of messages. One message is never harm anybody. Understand people's feelings. Respect elders. Respect people in general, and understand that everybody's, like I said, everybody's different. So it's very easy to get into a conflict mode. Very easy. It's probably the easiest thing to get into the conflict mode. What do you do when you really don't want to have a conflict? There's some people who love debating. There's a friend of mine who loves debating. Who said, नहीं नहीं तूने ऐसा बोला है तो अब मैं इस पे ऊपर debate होना ही होना है. So which is fine, which is a different. There's nothing wrong or right about it. But before getting into a conflict or a debate, you have to understand the real meaning of what empathy means. And respecting people is the top value that I would want to imbibe in her. Respect people, make people laugh, make people smile, whatever it takes. People around you should be like, wow, I'm with Lion, so wow, it's a happy moment, right? Not I'm with Lion, or I'm with Ankoor. So what is that vibe you're giving out? If the first thing is like, wow, I'm with Ankur, so my day is going to be rocking. So that thing is like the value that I want to imbibe as a value number two. Say respect people and make people laugh and smile.
Wow. So last one is a googly one. Describe Ankur in one line.
In one word or one line?
One word, one line, whatever.
So Ankur would be a smooth operator and both naughty and serious, the ability to have been naughty and serious at the same time.
Wow. So let's put in the hot seat, the rapid fire round. Energy or strategy?
Energy. Any day.
Your go-to comfort food?
Dal chawal and a sabzi, preferably aloo ki sabzi. Yeah.
One thing that never fails to make you smile?
I think books, and obviously my daughter and Arpita, and I would want to name Saurabh, my boss, Anjali, the co-founder, and their daughter as well, Sia, in this, because the moment I met them, I started feeling even happier. So they make me, smile and laugh as well.
Wow. You're a sunrise or sunset person?
I'm an extremely sunrise person, extreme sunrise.
Wow. One word to describe your leadership style?
Servant and charismatic, both.
Your favorite travel destination?
Yeah, I would say that's a difficult one. I love Bali, and in India, I love Goa or somewhere in the south. Somewhere in the south, Kochi maybe.
Wow. Best piece of advice received?
Best piece of advice was you're not doing it right. So look at it from a flip side. When somebody says, and a very senior person, my mentor, you're taking a big risk. That were the exact words. You're taking a big risk. Now, when that comes, you start to think on a dual mode that, oh, how do I need to take that?
Beautiful. Tea or coffee to recharge?
I'm a very tea person, but the tea, I'm very finicky about tea. The tea has to be, I make brilliant tea. I make very awesome tea. Only my wife gets the privilege to have it every morning. But tea.
Wow. Let's rest toast.
Made by me, I make the tea every morning for my wife. Every morning, without fail.
So you did well, and here's your books. So in a book where leadership often hides behind jargon, Dr. Ankoor Dasguupta brings a rare mix of authenticity, energy, and purpose. His story reminds us that real influence isn't about the loudest voice in the room. It's about the most intentional. Thank you, Ankur, for inspiring us to lead with courage, communicate with clarity, and grow with Kaizen. So, like that, there are 500 plus coffee speakers who have shared their professional, personal journey. Subscribe, implement in your life, and see the changes. And we connect with another coffee speaker and continue the conversation or cup of coffee. Take care. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lan. You've been a wonderful host, and thank you so much for bringing out the best in me. I hope I did well.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.